Bum, ba, 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 bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Welcome back, my friend. This is BjjBrick Quick. My name is Byron. This is your quick jiu-jitsu podcast. Coming at you today. I explained it yesterday. We're doing movie topics. Movie titles is a better way to say it. As a topic for the podcast. I'm not going to talk about the movie. I'm going to talk about the title of the movie and relate it to jiu-jitsu. Today, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, we all have this, don't we? And I first thought of this, I'm like, oh yeah, some training partners. Some of them are good, some of them are not good, and some of them are ugly. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to do a whole podcast and try to defend that I'm not ugly. Oh man, that's tough. I don't want to defend that all day long. So let's think about it like our moves or our techniques or our jiu-jitsu. We all have parts of our game that we're good at. It starts with one thing. You know, I remember my first, quote, good move. Oh, white belt Byron. I did an arm bar. I did another arm bar. I grabbed that, arm with I grabbed their right arm with my arm and I got wrist control in the other hand and threw my leg over and hipped into that thing hard. And I could tap out some other white belts. Yeah, my first good move. It was probably pretty ugly, actually. Anyway, that's a different category. But you're going to find stuff you're good at. You probably have already found a few things. What's your favorite way to pass the guard? What's your favorite submission? What position do you get to and all of your training partners are in trouble? That's good. Congratulations, you've got to have a good part of your game. The bad. Can't have the good without the bad. Well, we all have areas of weakness. The key is to have them in an area that doesn't matter. My good, leg drag. If you have a bad leg drag, that's perfectly fine. You'll never really have to pay the price for that. You're never going to be stuck. And the only way to pass the guard is to leg drag. If you have a good over-under pass or you like to pass the half guard and pass through there, whatever. If you have a good couple of passes that can fit in a variety of situations, you having a bad leg drag doesn't matter. I always say I have a pretty bad De La Riva guard. My Kimura probably isn't a purple belt level Kimura. It I don't know. It might be blue belt. It's definitely at least white belt level Kimura. I understand how to do a Kimura. Don't get me wrong. But I think if I started trying to Kimura all the blue belts and purple belts I would train with, I'd get a lot of resistance from those people. That's bad. That's not one of my good moves. It's okay. That's an okay thing to be bad at because I'm not going to magically find myself doing a Kimura that I need to finish. I'm going to do something else. You get to choose what you're attacking. You get to choose what guard pass you have. If you want to play top game and your takedowns are weak, that's kind of bad. So what's your, I guess you have the plan B is to pull guard and get a sweep. You got to have a grade A game of sweeps. Okay, at least you got that. Would it be better to make one of your, if top game is where you want to be, I'm just thinking here, you probably should work a bit on your takedowns. I think in jiu-jitsu we get distracted and we think, we want to roll. We want to submit each other. We want to stand up. We want to, I also said stand up. We don't want to stand up. There's oftentimes we pack in 40 to 50 people in a mat space that probably have 15 and we train and we do it pretty safely. But I like how we get 15, like an odd number. Someone's going to be taking a break. But, so the takedowns can be tough to practice in a full room. It's not really as safe. But in the practice, people start, packing up and going home, working a couple rounds of takedowns. Turn that bad thing to an okay thing. The movie title, The Good, the bad, the okay, and ugly. That doesn't sound that nice. But, these old movies, they would have, characters that were clear cut, no gray area. Most of our jiu-jitsu is probably gray areas. But think about your bad techniques or your bad, like the holes in your game, I guess is a better way to say that. Are those worth patching up? Or can you get away with not playing that game? Like, I don't play lapel guard. I don't do that. It's not fun. And I train basically 50-50, 50% of the time gi, 50% no gi. I really don't focus at all on what I'm getting into, until I'm packing my gym bag and like, oh, today's going to be gi. Then I bring the gi. But if I want to work on lapel guard, I need to go to gi classes. I need to make it, if I'm training 3 times this week, all 3 of those, at least 2, need to be gi. Having that focus. But it's bad. My lapel guard game, like taking like a worm guard or wrapping the lapel around them 9 times until my arm goes to sleep and I can't figure out how to get out of this damn thing. No, my lapel guard game is weak. I'm fine with that as of right now. But if I want to, I often get confused while I'm in somebody else's lapel guard. I don't really, I try to reverse engineer it. I try to keep good posture, strong structure. Obviously not walking anything too obvious, but if I learned the offensive end of it, I think I do better passing it. So maybe there's an area that would be justified for me to at least get the basics down. I don't even know the Kimura level details of the lapel guard. A lot of people don't like footlocks. So the bad is that okay, they don't know the footlocks, but they also don't know the defenses. We got to get to the ugly. We're running out of time. Okay. We all have these techniques that you can make them work, but they're not that clean. They don't look that pretty. And I think maybe the stronger or more athletically gifted maybe have a few more of these than others when you could just force it. That's jiu-jitsu. Sometimes we've all had a choke that wasn't super clean, and it was a little bit of a neck crank, or you had to squeeze too hard with your hands versus your arms, or you know what I mean. We've all been stuck in those chokes where it's like, man, this sucks. I'm getting slowly choked. It's really not choking me that good. I'm stuck. Those are ugly. But they work. Sometimes our jiu-jitsu needs to be ugly for a little while until it's good. Maybe it goes bad. I don't know. But we've all finished techniques, and we like, the person taps, and they feel like, okay, he got me. That's cool. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, that was not a very good technique. I definitely didn't have my hips in the right position, or I used too much, arm strength, whatever. You need to kind of nitpick your techniques anyway, and kind of, even though you get something, could it be better? Could be a little less ugly. I don't know. I hope so. Good jiu-jitsu is often really beautiful. Clean technique. You don't see the person hesitating before they tap. They just tap. You got me. Game over. If you want to support this podcast, you can go to Patreon. Find us there to kick in a few bucks a month. Greatly appreciated, my friends. Maybe this podcast will turn from good to pretty. There's no pretty in the movie title. Ugly to pretty? I don't know. A little bit more support, and this will be a pretty podcast. We're just a few supporters away from turning it to pretty. I don't know what's going to happen that day, but it'll be glorious. Hope you have a great day, my friend, and stay sweaty.